Look at what we have here. An HRE that is back with its tire. Boy, do I have a story to tell you guys. Welcome to the second episode of the cross-country S52 E34 road trip. So as you guys know, in episode 1, we saw some things. We made it to our destination, or our first destination, from my dad's house, which by some grace of God, we made it here fully intact, with nothing wrong but a leaky O-ring injector, which was fixed, which I will actually have to take care of again prior in this video, which I'll get into in a minute. But you know, the main thing with that last episode was the cracked HRE, which was absolutely just, I can't think of the word. It was absolutely gut-wrenching, heart-wrenching, because out of all the things I expected or planned for on this trip, the things I was worried about, the parts I brought, I would have never expected to crack a barrel on a wheel, especially with 40 profile tires. Like, these are not stretched. You guys have seen some of the cars I build and the Stancy stretch tires. This is not one of them. This is a 235/40 on a 9.5, which is not that crazy. But the wheel was cracked, and I was in a very bad situation because Montana does not believe in wheel repair. As crazy as that sounds, you are technically not allowed to repair wheels in this state, which is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. So I have a road trip to keep, and I was basically stuck. What do I do? You know, I went to a few places, denied, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get a barrel for this wheel? And if I can't fix it, what do I do? So I was perusing through eBay, and I actually found this, and you'll notice right away that this is not installed, so obviously I'm not using it, and there's a reason to that. So I found actually remanufactured HRE 40-hole barrels and lips by some company in California, and I was like, no way, you know, how lucky is this? So I bought it, and I begged the guy, I was like, please, 2 days, ship this to me, I'll pay. I paid 80 extra bucks to ship it here so I could stay on track, and I got it within 2 days, which was great, and it obviously didn't work. So the width is cool, and the 40 holes are right, but the issue is this lip is not stepped enough, and I'll throw up pictures. The step on this is a single step, apparently, which I didn't even know, so this isn't even the seller's fault, this is partially my fault. These are a double-stepped lip, so this is where this gets interesting, and I honestly can't even go into too much detail about this just for my own sake, because I made a few promises. After meeting so many locals and talking with people about what I can do, I was finally instructed to pay a visit to some foreigners. I'm not even going to say the actual ethnicity, but basically they said, all right, pay a visit to them, maybe they'll hook you up. When I pulled up and told them what was wrong, basically looked at me crazy. Then he asked, he said, are you guys from Europe, or you know, are you guys, you know, of European whatever? And I said no, but Eustace obviously is, so he spoke to him, and they were able to exchange a few words, and after that he seemed to have trust for us, in which he let us come into the shop, and he made a few calls, and he said, these are my foreign connections, and next thing you know, we got a number, an address, and an appointment with a guy that would later repair this HRE. And I was told very firmly, this didn't happen, we don't exist, blah blah blah, which, I mean, it's absolute craziness how intense this is. And you guys, I'm not even joking, I promise you, like, they really treat wheel repair here like it's like you're covering up a murder, and it's the most crazy thing ever. You're just not supposed to do it. There's a huge fine, so these guys made sure that I didn't say anything, so I'm hoping that in this video I haven't mentioned too much. But anyway, long story short, it was able to be fixed for a hefty, oh, I don't know, maybe hefty, maybe not, 150 bucks, but I'll pull in the camera and show you guys he did a pretty good job, and I cannot complain because now I can get back on the road. So here is where the crack was. It's a little deceiving. If you look at it like that, looks like a crack. That's not. That's just the weld that was grinded down, and obviously wasn't grounded down perfectly flush. But from the inside, it looks different. I'll flash a picture as well. This is the back side, so both sides are welded. The guy knew what he was doing, so drilled a hole to end the crack. And I mean, dude, this crack went down to like here. It was like, I mean, half the barrel cracked. It was crazy. But drilled the hole to stop it, TIG welded it, grinded it down. Obviously, when you weld a wheel or aluminum or something, it's gonna warp a little bit, so you can kind of look and see like it's definitely not a perfect circle anymore. And I don't think it was to begin with, because I think this wheel has always been bent. You can see right there, it's a little flat spotted. So this wheel is just beat up, and it sucks, and I hate it. And I know repairing a wheel is not the best thing, but I just had no other options. So I'm pretty happy. He did a good job, a good enough job to get me back on the road. And you can see all the freaking wheel weights that are on this thing, which is actually a funny thing, is that these are less weights than this wheel had before the crack. The crack and the filler there actually added to the, or actually improved the balance of this wheel. These rear HREs have just seen better days. They're 30-year-old wheels. They're beat up, man. I mean, they need a lot of weights to balance. And as you guys know, I was having wheel weight issues. So I lost both the passenger side wheel weights on the wheels. Both the left side stayed on, but I cracked the wheel, so I had to be rebalanced anyway. But this is good enough to get me further on my trip, at least to states that freaking don't look at wheel repair like it's a murder. So this should do. So before we get back on the road, I got Gorilla Tape, which is, super strong. I got the clear stuff so it's not ugly, like so you don't see like black Gorilla Tape like from behind the face. So I'm going to go ahead and tape over all my wheel weights because I don't want to lose these. So as you can see, I cleaned the hell out of this barrel, like grinded it or sanded it down, or wire wheel I should say. I told the guys, like, I'm going to clean these up before I bring them, and that's what I did. So hopefully I have better luck, because these are basically a completely re-machined finish. Like, they're not smooth anymore. Like, I really hit these. So hopefully that doesn't give me any issues. Other than that, I'm going to do all three wheels, put them on, lower the car, and it will be time to head forward into PNW, the Pacific Northwest. We're going to head to Portland and do some things there. And I don't know how much I'll film, because I think after this will be more of my vacation. Eustace and Brandon went home, so now I'm lone manning it. A lot of the car content and stuff will come in Cali. So this video will pick up after I do all this, either in Portland for a little bit or in Cali, we'll see. But we'll get there. And yes, I know like taping wheel weights is probably like pretty goofy to a lot of you, but the method behind my madness here is if you actually talk to like track guys that like track their cars heavily, they actually have issues with melting off wheel weights from like big brakes and obviously the how aggressive a track is. So what those guys do is they usually use HVAC tape over their wheel weights, because HVAC tape is heat resistant. So that saves the adhesive of the wheel weights, therefore keeps the wheel weights on. That's what I did to get here. I don't know if it wasn't the greatest tape quality or if my prep work wasn't that great, which I know it wasn't, but it didn't work all that well. It helped on some of the weights. Some of the weights definitely stayed on fine, but others didn't. So because of that, now I'm just gonna go with clear Gorilla Tape. Stock brakes with 18s, there's like a mile between the caliper and the barrel, and I'm not driving this car like on a racetrack, so I don't think the heat's gonna get hot enough to like melt through Gorilla Tape. And if you're worried about tape like unbalancing the wheel, this stuff weighs, nothing. So I don't think you gotta worry about it like that. If I lose any more wheel weights on this trip, man, I'm gonna lose my mind. All right, we are back on the road. I just left my dad's house. You can probably see Missoula Mountains behind us. We are heading west. So next stop, Portland. Wheels are freshly balanced, holding air. The car drives like a dream. No more shakes or vibrations. So far, so good. I think there's an E30 in front of me. Dude, I have not seen a BMW that's actually like something special in weeks, bro. On like this whole trip. I'm gonna drive by, I'm gonna drive next to him and give him a thumbs up. 325 ES. He gave me a nice little nod and a thumbs up. Yeah, so we're back on the road. I'm excited to finally get the trip going again. Had a few hiccups, but they all seem to be cleared up. Off camera, I replaced all my injector O-rings with the other set. I found a way to pull off pintle caps without breaking them. I broke a few. It's all pretty iffy. Realistically, I need just an O-ring rebuild kit. I need brand new O-rings because these ones are still old, which isn't optimal. But otherwise, the injectors are taken care of. One of them leaked really bad, even with new O-rings, and that was the one that leaked at the first, in the last video. So I don't even know if that's an O-ring issue. That injector is like shot. That one was bad because I reinstalled it and it was leaking bad again. I was like, oh crap. So ditched that one. So I'm running one of the spares, which seems to be working fine for me. And the tires, I've been checking them for the past 3-4 days since the repair. They're all good. So now I'm just gonna keep my eyes on the road. I have a lot less weight in the car this time. No offense to my friends, but that was 2 extra guys and then both of their suitcases. And it was very noticeable, like driving this car. Like it was, the car was weighed down between all the spare stuff I brought, which I don't want to say I regret bringing it because we're not even halfway through this trip. But I think like weight wise, without a lot of those things that are probably useless, like will I really need a spare like general module? Probably not. I'm glad I have them. But when I get home to Illinois, we will do the official talk about whether or not I'm happy I brought certain things or not. But as of right now, you know, I have a lot of weight in this car, so it is what it is. It's a road trip. The E34 can handle it. And I will just say, just getting on the highway and doing a couple rips without 2 extra people in their luggage, the car feels a million times more capable. So I'm really excited about that. So now I can have fun. And I messed up the first drive video. The audio did not work out. So I think our first drive video will have to be us cruising like the Pacific Coast Highway or something like that. Probably not right now my drive to Portland because I don't, you know, I got weight on me and I got mostly highway, so I don't think it'll be that fun. But I do want to do my initial driving impressions of this car beyond what I've talked about in these 2 episodes. But just know right now I'm cruising 75 and the car feels beautiful. No vibrations, no shake. It feels nimble again. I'm stoked. Crossed over into Idaho, went through Idaho, and now I'm currently in Washington. I just passed through Spokane, my first time in Washington. So this drive is just going right along. We got like 5.5 hours left, I think, which is like easy. The initial time of the drive was 9 hours from doorstep to doorstep, which is very intimidating because I don't think I've ever done a lone journey that long. I went and bought an E24 once in Tennessee, which was I think 8.5 hours round or each way with 2 friends. So that was 24 hours of driving, or like the full day. So that was by far the farthest trip I've ever done, and that was a crazy amount of driving a day. But I had 2 people to help me. So this is, I think, one of the longest stretches I've done solo. There's a semi-truck hogging the left lane. But so far so good. I'm cruising like 80 through the mountains, absolutely loving it. I could not be happier. The car is doing great. So far so good. So 5 hours and I'll be in the Portland area. And then I'll be in the Pacific Northwest for my first time. And I'm so excited to see all the views and stuff. Outside of Portland, we've gotten out of the flat, boring Washington. Now we're starting to get into some mountains. We got some water, some rivers, some trains. Man, oh, we got Windmill Farm up here. Once you get under this bridge, you can see. Oh, there they are. It's just like if you guys are from the Midwest and you've been from like Chicago to Indianapolis, that Windmill Farm, that damn Windmill Farm, despise it. This is way better out here. The scenery made this drive go by so fast, dude. In the Midwest, a 2-hour drive feels like 10 hours because there's just nothing to see. Out here, dude, the roads are so fun. I've been just so happy driving that time's flown by, dude. I've been on the road for what, 6.5, almost 7 hours, and it feels like I've been on the road for like an hour. Like, I am totally chilling. Here in the beautiful Vista House in the mountains of outskirts of Portland, and I talked in my video on the GoPro about how astonishing and amazing the drive was, which was basically that way, and now I'm up here on the roads that I was kind of looking at from the highway that were like super pretty. Very fun to drive. The E34 is just absolutely heavenly. They pump the gas for you here, which is absurd because the guy came up to my car and I got all defensive. That's just like the Chicago in me. I'm like, what the hell? And then I realized that they pump the gas for you. But so that was a bit hard for me to understand. But otherwise, the E34 has been fantastic. No more wheel weight issues. I seem to have resolved that, which is nice. No flat tires, which is good. Knock on wood. But I mean, just like look at this. Like look at the view. I even have a camera woman here filming for me. Like I'm not even gonna pay her, but she's filming for me, so I love it here. I don't know if I can return to Illinois, and I don't know, I might have to move the headquarters out here because this is just so good. Portland is crazy, great views that you don't get in the Midwest. So being here with my E34 is a surreal experience. I'm so happy to have made it out here and shared this experience with you guys building the car. It was a long road to get it here, but it's here, and I've had a blast. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.